Restaurant Unstoppable. Inspire, empower, and transform the industry. Now you're opening your first restaurant. Is there anything that we have not brought to the story that's worth bringing to the story before we get into how you executed it?
If we're going from raise money to open, I think that I would be remiss not to mention the fact that you're working for 4, 5, 6 months every day in the trenches building a restaurant out. And every single one of those days, there are decisions that are being made. And I think that what we learned so early on, I actually tell people this all the time. There are people I worked with on that project that if those were not the people working, this place would never have been built, right? Like we really struggled to get this thing put to the finish line. And we were so lucky that we worked with such talented people to get us there.
What was your biggest struggle?
I mean, I think that some of the biggest struggles was just the ins and outs of how to actually do things, right? So in Davidson County in Nashville, there's a beer board, right? And you got to go get your beer license. We had never done that before. Yeah. We also didn't have a bunch of money to throw at lawyers to go do it for us. Mm-hmm. So like we figured it out. And I'll never forget, we show up to our first beer board meeting and I get a sheet of paper. It's 12 sheets of paper stapled and I'm looking for like what's going on. I have not a clue. And I'll never forget, Martin from Debt Distributing, one of the beer distributors in town, walks over, puts his arm around me and goes, just stand next to me. We'll walk through this together.
Nice.
And like just those little things, as you accumulate them, actually allow you to open a place, right? Contractors, inspectors that are willing to have conversations with you, power companies who hook up power, all of those people that are sort of cheering you on and helping you along the way. That's a whole army of people getting you to that point.
So what were you doing to recruit these people? Or was it just because of your vulnerability, because of your honesty, because you were just hustling? Do you think that you were like striking a soft spot in the hearts of people that wanted to see you become successful? Like what was going on there?
I don't know if I did anything other than I would venture to guess looking back, both my partner and I probably looked petrified in every one of these decisions and they wanted to feel protected of us. Like we probably walked into these situations just so far over our skis that it was trying to wrap our head around some of these conversations. They just felt bad for us.
So you open, and I mean, there's so much to cover because how many total restaurants have you opened to date?
Oh man, that's a pop quiz. I don't know.
Really?
No, I have a very, very short-term memory on some of that stuff. And I think that's both good and bad.
Right. So take us through like what was this? I mean, how long was Bar 23 open?
So it's funny. We signed a 5-year lease. And when we signed it, I vividly remember being like, 5 years?
It's eternity.
No way we're here for 5 years. And then our lease was up and we had to leave. So we were there for 5 years.